Top 10 most destructive fights in anime. In anime, we have a lot of fights, and we can say one thing for sure. Anime fights impact the people taking part in the fight, and the surrounding area, and bystanders. The collateral damage in anime is insane, and sometimes even the planet gets blown apart. Throughout anime history, there has been numerous fights where this has been the level of destruction in their battles. So, in today's video, we'll be taking you down the top 10 most destructive fights in anime. This ranking is of course purely subjective, but I can assure you though that you will love the scenes. So, let's get started. Number 10, Tatsumi vs the Emperor from Akame ga Kill. Everyone who has seen this anime knows that it is filled with death and destruction, from the beginning till the end. One of those iconic scenes is the Emperor vs Tatsumi in episode 23. As a last resort to stop the rebels and preserve his reign, the Emperor, who was just a child taking bad advice from his very corrupt Prime Minister, enters his imperial arms and fights Tatsumi. He wielded weapons so destructive that they could simulate the effect of a nuclear blast. As a consequence of its use, of course, there were thousands of unintended deaths in his efforts to catch his opponent. Even after being defeated, the Emperor's hulking frame threatened to crush everyone directly below him. While Tatsumi managed to halt the metal husk, he overexerted himself doing so and died shortly after. Number 9, Naruto vs Pain from Naruto Shippuden. Many people started their anime journeys with this particular anime, and I was no different. And this is definitely one of the most iconic and favorite fight scenes to a lot of people. For me, it is definitely one of my favorite scenes as well, out of so many, and if you've seen the anime, you will understand why. Starting from episode 172, we see how the 6 paths of pain decimated the village hidden in the leaf. Being a surprise attack, the villagers were not prepared for this destruction of such magnitude. After the attack lasts for a while and Pain does not get what he wants, who is Naruto, he sets out to destroy the entire village. Unleashing one of his most destructive attacks, he turns the whole village into a pile of rubble. When Naruto returns, he gets so angry and defeats 5 out of the 6 paths of pain easily. However, he needed a little extra oomph for Pain, to the point of turning into his 6-tailed form. This is definitely one of the most amazing fight scenes in the anime, and you must check it out if you haven't yet. Number 8, Eren vs Lara from Attack on Titan. Okay, let's just put it out there, everything in Attack on Titan is destructive as hell. Still, I will be focusing on the battle between Eren and the Warhammer Titan Lara. This fight takes place in Season 4, Episode 6, so spoiler alert. When the invasion of Liberio officially began, Eren did not hesitate to attack the Warhammer Titan before she could fully transform. To him, collateral damage was not a consequence of battle. It was the intended goal. His fight with Lara sent debris scattering everywhere, and the frightened members of the audience who had gathered to watch Willy Tyburn's speech were sent into a stampeding frenzy. They had no scruples about trampling Udo to death, further cementing Gabi's belief that the Eldians were inherently sinful devils. Number 7, Whitebeard vs Marineford from One Piece. Most people have not seen this anime due to the length of the series, running at 998 episodes and counting. However, this particular fight was one of the most destructive fights of the series. In episode 460, Ace was set to be executed by the Marines, and Whitebeard and his entire crew came to save him. This led to a battle for the history books, as many pirates and many Marines lost their lives.
こいつらこれ式で俺を殺せると思ってやがる。助けなんだいらねえよ。俺は白ひげだ。
While Luffy and Ace are trying to escape, Akainu kills Ace with a fist through his chest. After Ace is slain, Whitebeard is utterly enraged. He didn't just go after Akainu, who was directly responsible, he went ballistic on all of Marineford, wrecking their headquarters and destroying their ships with his powerful Tremor foot. There were many casualties too, as those boats and buildings had soldiers in them. The fight was eventually interrupted as Blackbeard and his crew showed up. But this happens long after Whitebeard unleashes hell on all the Marines. Number 6. Mob vs Toichiro Suzuki from Mob Psycho 100. For those who have seen the anime, you can agree that Mob does not enjoy using his power to the fullest. Partly because he does not like hurting others, and because of the destruction that always accompanies it. However, in Season 2, Episode 12, he has managed to take down everyone else in Claw with the help of his friends. All that is left is the big bad boss, Toichiro Suzuki, a man who amassed so much power that he believes he is undefeatable. With the world's fate at hand, Mob has to go all out to protect the people he loves, and everybody else. He goes straight into 100% mode to access the full range of his powers. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough. He had to create a shield of buildings to protect himself from Suzuki's onslaught. The fight continues on for a while until Suzuki's body becomes so engulfed with psychic energy that an explosion so massive that it creates a mushroom cloud ensues despite Mob's effort to balance it out. Ultimately, the people survive, but not the city, as Seasoning City is in pretty bad shape. Number 5. Ryo Asuka vs Akira Fudou from Devilman Crybaby. This Netflix anime has explicit content and destruction as expected when demons are unleashed on the world of man. It starts in episode 9, after the terrifying all-out demon attack in which most of humankind is wiped out. Akira Fudou tries his best to save innocent people from painful slaughter. Ultimately, he is forced to confront his former friend Ryo Asuka, who he soon learns is the mastermind behind the chaos and violence. Ryo's true identity is Satan, and his goal is to obliterate humanity, leaving Akira as the only survivor. Akira's not having it, and together with the rest of the world's Devilmen, he tried to destroy Ryo and the surviving demons. Ryo ultimately slices Akira in half, as well as the whole freaking moon. Combined with the apocalyptic struggle between Earth's forces and Hell's armies, their battle was so destructive that the Earth itself became cracked and uninhabitable, leaving Ryo as the only survivor. Number 5. Naruto vs Sasuke from Naruto Shippuden. Most members of the anime community have seen this fight, and we can all agree that this fight scene was one of the best ones yet. Compared to the first fight between these two, their final battle was on a whole different level. With the fourth Great Ninja War ending in episode 476, Naruto and Sasuke decide to have their final battle as Sasuke wants to be alone and Naruto won't let him. Sasuke seals all the tailed beasts, taking them hostage and ensuring that Naruto gives his all in the fight. The fight begins in the same place as their previous fight, the Valley of the End, and the display of power is incredible. The might of the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan was put against the full-on nine-tailed fox powers, destroying everything around them. The damage, however, was not just limited to their surroundings, as both Naruto and Sasuke lost an arm in the fight. Number 3. Saitama vs Boros from One Punch Man. The name says One Punch Man, so you know that most of his battles end with a single punch and possibly some collateral damage. It also means that he does not get enough excitement from his fights. This was all changed a bit when Boros appeared in Season 1, Episode 12. Boros claimed to be a destroyer of planets and a member of a superior race with regenerative abilities. And he was not joking about it. Boros was able to withstand Saitama's normal punches, even punching Saitama to the moon. Literally. It is no surprise that the fight between these two was wildly destructive. Boros even manages to severely damage his spaceship and launch fatal attacks on his men. However, the fight ends with Saitama using a serious punch to put Boros out of his misery. Boros used everything he had, but Saitama barely used his power. Number 2. Goku vs Freiza from Dragon Ball Z. There was a lot of destruction in the Dragon Ball series, and not the small kind. I'm talking of planetary level destruction. Destroying planets is something that Freiza does pretty casually, as it is no skin off his nose if he ruins existence for billions of beings. The fight takes place in episode 43 of Dragon Ball Z Kai. Freiza decides that a good way to end this showdown with Goku is to devastate Namek's core, prompting the whole planet to blow up in 5 minutes. He is confident that he can defeat Goku and escape the planet before that happens. Even if it does explode, he can survive in the vacuum of space, and Goku supposedly can't. Things go sideways and he does not get his way. Goku's Super Saiyan transformation allowed him to defeat Freiza and escape the planet before the explosion occurred. Number 1. Team Dai Gurren vs the Anti-Spiral from Gurren Lagann. This anime is quite old and the animation is not exactly like how it is today, but it is still definitely a classic and one of the best animes to date. And I know why some people will question why it's ranked the first on this list. To put it simply, the showdown between Team Dai Gurren and the Anti-Spiral is perhaps the largest scale battle in anime history. This fight takes place in the 27th episode of the anime, and it was the biggest fight of the series. Rather than relying on traditional weapons like swords or guns, the two opposing forces hurled entire galaxies at each other. This means stars, planets, moons, and meteorites were all yanked out of their place to fuel their grand scale battle. And that's why this anime deserves to be the number 1 on this list. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our list and this video. If you think we've missed out a fight scene that deserves to be on this list, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon to get notified when we drop more amazing content like this. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one, fellow geniuses.